If you'll be sitting AF4 soon, this video is for you. At Brand Financial Training, we've helped thousands of people through their AF exams over the years, so here are our top tips for the AF4 exam. The AF4 exam assumes you have up-to-date knowledge of the RO2 and J10 syllabuses, so this is a really good place to start with your studies. Go back through these and revise the tricky bits you don't remember or don't see day to day. This will stand you in good stead before you move on to the higher technical level of AF4. The CII tells us in their exam guide that if you don't have experience in advising clients with sophisticated financial needs, then the AF4 study textbook likely won't be enough to get you a pass in AF4. This is a significantly technical exam with a high requirement for technical knowledge and how this applies to clients. So if that's you, then make sure you factor into your revision plan the extra items that are recommended on the CII's AF4 reading list. Write your answers in bullet points. Not only does it save you time in the exam, but the examiner will be grateful. Generally speaking, those who write in succinct bullet points gain more marks than those who write longer narrative-style answers. Know the layout of the tax tables. By knowing what information appears on there, you can rest assured you don't need to memorise all of those figures. It will also save you valuable seconds knowing where to find the allowance or rates of tax that you're looking for when you're in the exam. Remember that for this exam, clients require a critical appraisal of the available financial planning options. Many candidates who've sat this exam and not passed have written answers that were too vague and superficial. For example, the senior examiner remarked that in this specific question, candidates' knowledge was poor, with too many candidates stating that the return was indexed without reference to the measure of indexation, i.e. inflation, and those that did state inflation usually stated that it was the RPI, not CPI. Spend about as many minutes per question as marks are available and use the number of marks available for each question as an indicator of how many points you should be making in your answer. An 8-mark question needs 8 different points to gain the marks available. If you can think of more, then write them down. This might mean 8 separate bullet points, or sometimes 2 marks might be within one sentence. Before you start to answer a question, remember to think carefully about what the examiner is actually asking before putting pen to paper. You'll see in many of the AF4 exam guides that the senior examiner has commented that for too many questions, the candidates didn't properly read or understand the question and have simply regurgitated previous model answers, hoping that they fit. It's vital to label all parts of your answer correctly. Many questions have multiple parts. For example, question 1A might have a part 1, 2 and 3. If you don't distinguish between the question parts, you might not get full credit for your answers, as it isn't clear that they are in the right place. Remember as well that a full answer has to be given to each question part. You can't write refer to answer X. For this reason, it's best to read all of the questions before you start answering to make sure you don't accidentally start answering part B in your answer to part A and have to write your answer out again. Make sure you show you're working for any calculation questions. Most often, more marks are awarded for the steps of the calculation than for the answer, so it's worth taking the time to write it out. Finally, make sure that you read the most recent exam guide. The examiner always gives hints in here of areas that previous candidates have struggled with or how they've dropped or gained marks. They'll also reference to topics that they feel candidates had a disappointing level of knowledge about. For example, in the March 2023 exam guide, they commented on the surprisingly poor knowledge of tax treatment of NS&I products. So there are our top tips for your AF4 exam. We wish you the best of luck. For more help and support, you can visit our website.